And at this time, I would like to introduce our guest speaker, our keynote speaker, should I say, from Rutherfordton, North Carolina, Laura Allen.
Can you hear me now? I'm gobsmacked at all these tie-dye folks. And I'm especially gobsmacked at Irene, ma'am. I was not aware of everything you have done, and what a blessing you have been to people. This is my first time being a keynote speaker, so I was a little bit nervous. I'm not usually at a loss for words, as some people know. In fact, Michael McGillicuddy was making fun of me today on Facebook and saying that he wished I could just express an opinion. So, I'm just going to talk. I'm going to try to keep this kind of short because I know people are hungry and you want to go eat and all that. But this is my second career. I've been here now for about 16 years doing massage. I started out working in restaurants when I got my first job when I was 13 years old, and I did that until I was 40, somewhere along there, almost 40. Over a period of 20 years, I owned 4 different restaurants, and I was stupid enough to open the first one when I was 19, and I think everybody was probably stupid when they were 19. But I did that, and it was a miserable failure and a big learning experience of what not to do. So the other 3 were busy places, and those were learning experiences too. The owner of the massage school that I ended up attending used to eat in one of my restaurants every day. And when I opened the last one, it was the only one that I ever had a partner in. I told her before we opened it, I said, I'm going to do this for 5 more years, and then I'm going to stop and do something else. And she said, what are you going to do? I said, I don't have any idea, but I was very tired of standing on my feet 100 hours a week, and I was usually in the restaurant every morning at 4 o'clock, and I was usually there until about 9 or 10 at night. And I was just getting old and burned out on that. So the owner of the massage school was sitting out there eating lunch. During year number 5, when I kept warning my partner, this is it, this is my last year, I'm getting out. And I don't think she believed me, but finally I convinced her it was so. She bought my half of the restaurant out, and walked out there to the lady who owned the massage school. Her school was only about 2 miles away from my house. And if I won the lottery tomorrow, I'd still have to have a job. I'm not somebody who's happy sitting around, watching TV or anything like that. So I walked out there and asked her for a job. I said, I'm getting out of here and I need a job. I said, I can type, I can file, I can sweep the floor. Really didn't care if it paid minimum wage. I just wanted something else to do that didn't involve me having to work for 100 hours a week. And she looked at me and went, where am I going to eat? And I told her the big fat lie that if she gave me a job, I'd cook for her. Which was not true. I actually ended up paying my mother to cook at my house for the next 2 years. I think maybe during my 5 years at the massage school, I think I scrambled her an egg one time. That was about it. But she told me she was actually looking for an administrator for her school. And so 2 weeks later, I went to work there. This lady had actually given me my first massage about 15 years before that. I woke up one morning and I could not move my head. And I did what everybody does when they're in trouble. I called my mother. And I just went, I can't move my head. And my mother said, don't panic. I'll take you to get a massage. So the owner of this school that I went to work at was actually the first massage therapist in between Asheville and Charlotte, North Carolina. My mother came and got me because I couldn't move my head. I couldn't see to drive, if a car was coming. So I walked in there not being able to move, and an hour later I walked out with my full range of motion restored. And so that made a believer out of me, and so for the next 10 years or so, I periodically would get a massage. I'm afraid I was one of those people who was probably guilty of waiting until I couldn't move to get a massage. But I did get some. And so when I went to work for her, there was a clinic out there where students were practicing. And also, North Carolina did not have licensing at that time, but she had therapists who had been trained. So I was sitting there at the desk for a few days and watching people come in, looking like they were in pain and looking like they were stressed out. And an hour later, seeing them walk out just looking relaxed and, with a case of massage head on. And I thought to myself, that really has to be the best job in the world of making people feel better. So she had a weekend program for working people that met on Friday nights and on Saturday and Sunday. So I signed up for that. And in a moment of insanity, I also went back to college to get a degree in psychology. So Monday through Thursday night, I was commuting up to Asheville, which is about 45 miles away from our house. Monday through Thursday night, I was commuting up there to go to school. And on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I was going to massage school. On Saturday night, I was playing in a band. And I look back on that and I'm just going, my God, when did I have time to do the laundry or something? I don't know. I don't think I maybe could keep up that pace now, but I ended up bartering my services to her as an administrator in exchange for my tuition. And then my husband, Champ, decided he wanted to go to massage school. So I bartered my services for his tuition. And then I ended up staying there for 5 years. The first week I was there, she looked at me and said, "Oh yeah, you can teach marketing." And I just looked at her like she was insane. And I said, "I've never taken a marketing class in my life." And she said, "But you have had a very successful service-based business for more than 20 years. And that's what this is about giving good service." So that would not be allowed nowadays because we do have a massage board that has rules against that kind of thing. But I ended up teaching marketing and ethics to my own class when I was in massage school. Now, I was qualified, I was qualified to teach the ethics. I really all I knew about marketing was how I had marketed my restaurant. And she was speaking the truth. It is largely about good service. And, that's, I think you can be the greatest massage therapist in the world, but, if you're not giving people good service, if you're not on time, and your office is not clean and that kind of thing, those are hallmarks of service. So, this has been the best thing that I could have ever done to switch gears and switch careers like this, because this has been very good to me. I have been, in addition to teaching my own class and then continuing to teach there at the school for 5 more years, I've been a provider of continuing education for about, 13 years or something. I've been able to travel all over the United States. For the past 11 years, I've had an annual gig in Ireland, which I love. That's my annual vacation and my, get to go over there and work for a little bit and then play for a little while. So 11 years ago, I left the massage school, and my husband and I opened up Therasage, our business in Rutherford. And there was a couple there who worked at the massage school that actually was their idea for us to go into business together. And, we discussed that for a few weeks, decided we would take the plunge and go into business with them. And 2 months into it, they bailed out on us. And their parting words were, "We can just tell this is never going to support 4 people." And 11 years later, we've employed as many as a dozen people at one time. Thank you. I have to say, when they said that to me, Satan kind of took over, and I went, it'll support the 4 people that are actually here working. That's what I said. It won't support anybody sitting at home. So right now we have 8 employees now. That I think that's kind of a good size for us. We live in a very small town of 4,000 people that's been financially devastated. I don't think we've ever, if we have recovered from the recession, I can't tell it. Our county in North Carolina, there's 100 counties in North Carolina. Ours is the biggest area-wise, not population-wise, but area-wise. If those of you who are my Facebook friends, and I see a lot of you here, can look back in my photographs and see a photographic essay that I put up a year or 2 ago called The Demise. I woke up one Sunday morning and told Champ, I said, let's go for a ride. I took my camera and I took pictures of 40 factories that have closed down in our county. I cannot begin to document the fallout on that, on small business. And as you folks know, massage is something that some people view as a luxury. Personally, I view it as a medical necessity. I always tell people if I wasn't getting massage, I'd be on drugs. And I'm not on drugs. But it's just something that to me is necessary. But a lot of people don't view it that way, and if they're financially strapped, it's one of those things that'll fall by the wayside. So I think it's been just a credit that we have educated people that getting regular massage can keep them from having to make so many trips to the doctor, maybe allow them to cut down on pain medication, maybe even avoid a surgery, and that kind of thing. And so we have been able to survive through some very hard economic times there in our area, and we've been blessed with good people to work with us. So, I personally would be incapable of making a living just doing massage. I had only been doing massage for a couple of years when I broke my left arm in 5 places, 2 surgeries, 4 screws and a pin later. I can do, my radius is no longer connected to the joint. I can do 1 good massage a day, and if I start to do 2, about halfway through it, my arm goes, what do you think you're doing? So they say those who do and those who can't do teach. So that's what I do, I teach. And I have sat there and been the receptionist at my office. And during the period of time that I have done that, I've written 8 books while I was sitting there. And 4 of those are massage related. 3 of them are published by Lippincott, Williams & Wilkins. One of them is self-published with my esteemed colleague, the massage nerd, wherever he went off to here. Where is Ryan? There he is. And Ryan is a humanitarian. He has done more to raise the profile of massage therapy than anybody else I know. His website must be 30,000 pages. I think it's definitely the biggest massage website in the world and one of the biggest websites of any kind in the world. So I join everybody and I do consider Ryan to be a humanitarian. So Ryan and I wrote a book together that was a little manual for massage therapy educators, and it's not intended to be a textbook. It's practical advice about the things that we wish we had known when we started out teaching because we both just got thrown into it. I told one day, here, you're going to teach this class tomorrow. And that's about how it went for both of us. So I have just finished revising the basic clinical massage therapy book that was written by Clay and Pounds, who both happen to be from North Carolina. And I think it's one of the greatest books in massage. And Doc Clay, the original author, has passed away, and they asked me if I'd like to revise that. And I consider that to be a big honor. I also am about to start revising The Educated Heart. Let's see, today is the 20th, is that right? The 18th of July was the 4th anniversary of the passing of Nina McIntosh, who was the author of The Educated Heart, and Nina was a good friend of mine. Her book was really the first ethics book that focused on the roles and boundaries of massage therapists, and not focus so much on client boundaries as focused on our boundaries and how us maintaining those is necessary to our prosperity and to maintaining our own mental health. And Nina made an arrangement with Lippincott before she passed away that I would get to author the future editions of the book. And thank you. You know, Nina passed from Lou Gehrig's disease, which is just a heinous disease because it doesn't affect your mind at all. It just destroys your body. And, you know, she maintained her sense of humor right up until the moment that she could no longer communicate. And she said, now, my name has to be in really big letters on the cover, and your name just has to be in little bitty letters up under that. And I said, that's fine, Nina. Nina actually was the subject of one of my books. I put a book out about her a couple of years ago, and it's called The Days Still Left. Nina's family had asked me after she passed if I would, you know, write a little bio about her. I ended up taking Nina's journal that she made public while she was sick on the Caring Bridge website. And it was just amazing to me to watch her, you know, laughing all the way to the grave. Literally, it's what she did. And when I was almost finished with that book, I got pneumonia, and I wound up in the hospital for a week. And I was laying there, and I thought, you know, I might not be coming home from here. So I called up the funeral home and made my funeral arrangements. And I didn't tell my husband, and the next day they walked into our office and go, here's Laura's funeral stuff. And gave him just a little bit of a fright there. Nina actually was the first recipient of the Auntie Margaret Humanitarian Award. And I was very glad that I got to take that, and I accepted that on her behalf. I got to take it to her just before she passed away, and she said, well, I really don't think I'm a humanitarian. But she was. I think she was amazed. I asked her when I knew that she was sick if I could share that on my social media. And she was blown away at how many thousands of people got in touch with her. Nina had written for ABMP's magazine, Massage and Body Work. She had written the ethics column in that for about a decade, in addition to writing The Educated Heart. And she was blown away at how many lives she had touched. I don't think she really had any idea. So I'm very honored that she passed that torch to me and is letting me carry on with her work. So, you know, I guess there's worse things to be known for, but since about 2007, I have been known as the notorious blogger. I report on the politics of massage therapy. I talk about what our professional organizations are doing. Massage Magazine first asked me to do that, and I started blogging on their website. Then ABMP came along and asked me if I would blog on their Massage Professionals website. Then Massage Today asked me to blog on their website. And I was just getting carried away trying to keep up with all this. So I created another website called lauraallenmt.com, and now I just write one blog and feed it into all those other places. So I do try to report on what the professional associations are doing and that kind of thing, along with a healthy dose of my opinion about it. I see a few people out here in the audience that I've insulted from time to time. Dr. Lena Gupta. I have given the organizations a hard time at times, the NCB and AMTA and my own state board and a few other state boards, and you know, also pat them on the back when I think they deserve it. Sometimes call them up and say, I'm about to print this, would you like to make a comment? And usually they do, so I do try to be fair about it, although I'm sure there's people that think I'm not. But you know, I've really have enjoyed being involved in that side of it. I'm currently not serving on any boards, and I'm not going to serve on any more as long as I am writing that blog, because I don't want people to have the perception of me that I'm partial to someone because I'm on their board. So I did serve 5 years on our state board. I've also served a couple of years as a delegate to AMTA. I've served a couple of years as a delegate to the Federation of State Massage Therapy Boards. And I see so many of my colleagues out here in the audience who are volunteers. You know, AMTA runs on the back of volunteers. I don't think they would deny that. They might not like the way I put that, but it's true. And so, you know, I see a lot of people out here that I know that have given hours and hours and hours of their time serving on their state boards, serving in volunteer positions of one kind or another, serving organizations like what Irene has started, and just giving hours of massage to deserving populations. And I really think this is the most giving profession of any profession that I know of. And I'm proud to be a part of it. I think this has been, you know, it's been a life-changing thing for me to go from cooking for the public all day. You know, I lost my interest in cooking there. I was so burned out whenever I gave up the restaurant. About a year or so after I had given that up, Champ was working on remodeling in our house, and I started describing this stove I wanted, and he went, "You don't need a stove, you can just have a picture of a stove." I have finally gotten to the point where I do enjoy cooking again. I'd still just as soon cook for 100 people as I had for the two of us, because I can do it about the same amount of time. You know, the one thing that I have been disturbed at in our profession is that other than the core of us who are dedicated volunteers and who do really care and try to keep up with what goes on, is that we seem to have a big sense of complacency in this profession. And you know, a lot of times I'll put something in my blog that there's detrimental legislation coming down the pike somewhere, and I encourage people, you know, go to your state board meeting, contact your legislators. They work for us, people. You know, our taxes are what pay those people. And my legislators all know me because I'll call them up and give them a dang earful real quick. And so, you know, the Affordable Care Act, for example, AMTA kind of had to be pushed into making a statement on that. Because initially they put out a notice that said, well, we've polled the members and 50% don't care about filing insurance. And my reply to that was, well, that means there's 50% who do. And so, you know, no one is going to be forced into filing insurance that doesn't want to. But we're presented with an opportunity here, and I think we're on the cusp of something. And so I encourage people a lot of times, you know, you need to get in touch with your legislators and let them know how you feel about this. Well, you know, a lot of times that doesn't happen, and then a month or two after some legislation comes down the road that, you know, is detrimental to us, and it's already signed into law, then I start getting calls from people saying, oh, this happened, what can we do? And I said, nothing. You should have done it when I told you to do it the first time. So, you know, I don't like that. I wish that people would pay attention to what's going on in your state board and at a national level. You know, I kind of avoid, I'll talk about the politics of massage. I kind of avoid talking about national presidential politics and all that kind of stuff because, you know, I actually think it's more important to me who's representing me in my state and who's representing me on a local level than it is of who the president is. I mean, that's just kind of my own personal opinion, but I really keep in touch with the folks on my local level. So I think that's important that you just know what is going on, and I'm amazed at how many people are always ignorant of the law governing massage in their own state. And I hear it all the time. I hear people saying, well, I'm nationally licensed. No, you're not. There is no such thing as a national license. You know, massage has been through a lot of growing pains. Ohio was the very first state to license massage therapy back in 1916. And now we're down to only 6 states that don't have any regulation. You know, we have seen a lot of growing pains in the last few years. We don't even have a common language that we agree on. And about 6 years or so ago, a collaborative effort known as the Massage Therapy Body of Knowledge was put out there, and it was put out for public comment, and it was an attempt to define the language that we use and to define what the Massage Therapy Body of Knowledge is. And it was put out for public comment several times, and I think it only got about 600 comments, and 50 of them were mine. And if I know Sandy Fritz, probably another 50 or 100 of them was hers. You know, recently we have had the ELAP, which was the brainchild of Ann Williams over at ABMP. Ann and Bob Benson started that up, I believe, and ended up with being a collaboration among all the organizations, and they have attempted to define, ELAP stands for Entry Level Analysis Project. They've attempted to define what an entry-level therapist just getting out of school should know, and it's been put out for public comment. And I'm amazed at how few people have commented. And then just most recently, the Federation of State Massage Therapy Boards put out what they refer to as the Model Practice Act. And it's an attempt to, to make licensing more portable. Because if you've ever tried to move from one state to the other, you know it's probably a big fat pain in the butt. And so, the Federation would like to make that easier on everyone, and they've put this out for comment. And I understand that it did get about 1,300 or 1,400 comments, and I believe they have made some changes in it, and they're going to put it out there again. I spent a good many years on my blog writing the National Certification Board pretty dang hard because I've been dealing with them since back in my days as a massage school administrator. I've been nationally certified the entire time of my career. When I got licensed, their exams were the only path to getting a license in my state. And I have maintained that all these years, and I'm now board certified with their new board certification. But I've seen them go through a whole lot of ups and downs. And I was picking on Lena Gupta a while ago. Dr. Lena Gupta, who is the chair of the board, is here, back there sitting amongst you, wearing her tie-dye. Something I have seen some improvements there. Michael McGillicuddy is also on their board. Bruce Baltz, some other folks I know of, they have some dedicated people there. I've seen some improvements happen there. So I'm glad of that. And I have been very gratified in the past few years to see these collaborations between all of our organizations. I appreciate Brian Halterman getting up here and telling, I thought that was very funny when he said maybe you're standing there with your hand on the heart of someone, maybe a TA, and you're ABMP. We are all in this together. I argue quite regularly with people who have different opinions than mine. I started out, the first class that I ever took was back in 1993 before I went to massage school. It was an energy work class. And I proceeded to teach energy work for about the next 10 or 12 years and do it on everybody that would sit still and all that. And a few years ago, I turned away from that and went to the evidence-based practice of massage. And I've been very vocal about that, and that's made me some enemies. And all I can say is get in line. I have plenty of enemies. So if I haven't made them on my blog, I've made them through that. We are all in this together. I do appreciate the fact that in the past few years, AMTA, ABMP, the National Certification Board, the Federation of State Massage Therapy Boards, CompTA, which I'm also a peer reviewer for. I'm about to make another round around the country reviewing some of the CompTA schools. I appreciate the fact that all of these organizations have put aside personal differences and come together for the good of massage. And we're still on. Thank you. We are still going to continue to have growing pains because we still don't have that language defined. There's no accepted nationwide, forget worldwide, there's no accepted nationwide definition of what massage really is. And we need to have that. When somebody says medical massage, what in the heck is that? Nobody knows. Nobody knows because the definition of it has not been accepted. We've had several definitions proposed, but it's not really been accepted. So, I think this profession is just filled with nice people, caring people who, for the most part, just want to help other people feel better. I'm grateful to be a part of it. I'm very grateful to Mike and Cindy for the work that they put into the World Massage Festival. I've been here for 5 years running now, and I'm going to be here until they run me off because I just appreciate the family atmosphere here. This is a different kind of convention. I haven't missed an AMTA National now in about 10 years. Although I am thinking of boycotting this year on account of Dr. Oz. I'm not a fan of Dr. Oz. And so I just thank you for listening to me tonight. I thank you all for being here. Bless you all for doing the work that you do. And just keep putting your hands on people and helping them to feel better. Thank you.